What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to tonight's live stream. It is Tuesday. It is, what the hell is today? 17th. The 17th of February. We're already best part of like 7 weeks into this year. Who would have thought that, eh? But anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a good Tuesday. And welcome back. All right. Haven't really got an agenda tonight. Obviously, most of the times we kind of get here and we're like, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. Like, I feel like we're just on the track that we need to be on the track for and just kind of play out what we need to play out. Then we can all kind of move on. I know that sounds like the craziest thing in the world, but it's kind of true. That's kind of where I feel that we are right now. So anyway, we obviously do have some stuff that we'll talk about. I want to get into a little bit on past experience, October 10th, what happened, why did the bull market end, and then I guess why haven't we then seen it move from that forward. We're going to talk about Jane Street. If many of you don't know or do know who that is, these are who allegedly has been dumping the crypto market on US Opens for the last about 3 months. So we'll talk about what's going on with them. Is that finally over? Is this the catalyst that's going to drive the price of BTC to new all-time highs? Then we're going to talk a little bit about who owns Bitcoin and then some announcements that have just come in from the White House as well. So pretty extensive show. We'll obviously take a look at the charts. Rough day in the markets. 1.64% down on the day. Are we surprised? No. All right, let's just call it. Let's just call it exactly as it is. We were expecting this push down. It was obvious it was going to happen. So, pretty interesting how it's kind of all playing out. And I think my view, just personally, I think I said this on Sunday, I think we actually have another leg down personally to around 65k. So I'll talk a bit about that. You do a lot of work and cover a lot of macro. Thanks, Fat Sonic. Thanks, mate. I'm already worried about stocks correcting in Iran, but I don't think Iran will likely go. Yeah, well, I don't think so. What's interesting is Japan just got a little bit of a announcement, so we'll talk about that as well. All right, so we've got quite a bit to get into. As always, smash up the like button to bring you all to live. If you're new here as well, do consider subscribing as well as hitting the follow button if you're here on TikTok, because it's worth it, all right? Just my opinion. Obviously, people are going to be slightly biased, as I am, when it comes to my channel, but it is obviously worth it. So let me bring you over here. TikTok, you get to go to the hot seat. And let me just give you that little zoomerino. There you go. Look, so you guys have got zoomed in. And YouTube, you can see the charts as well. All right. So like I said, hit the like button, share the stream, do all that kind of good stuff. Let people know that we are live and direct. If we lose 65 though, we probably go sub 60. Probably. Well, this is the 12-hour chart. This is where we're going to start here. Obviously, we could go to weekly, but everything's just playing out as we expect. As daft and crazy as that sounds, it is literally playing out as we talked about. And all these people that say the bear market's finished, we're all going up. And I know people will say, well, 2-bit. Hold on a minute. You were like super bullish back here. No, my friend. We were optimistic. They're a very, very different view. You can see here on the weekly candles, we've actually had 5 weeks now of negative price action on BTC. Why is it going to stop? Well, it's not yet. That's the honest answer, and it's going to continue to push to the downside. So there's no point really going through the weekly candles. We know where we are. 5-day, red, 2-day. Obviously, we got the bottom in from that low range at 60,000 with a push back up. So you could argue maybe it'd be worth sort of sitting on the 2-day, but again, not a lot. Not a lot's going on right now. Where it gets interesting is where we're at. The 12-hour chart, and more importantly, what are we seeing? And why do I think that we're probably going to see a little bit of a further push down? Remember, I'm not any kind of super analyst. I just look at what I see. And, I don't need to draw loads of crazy-ass lines on the chart to kind of understand where I think the price is going to go. Look at that weekly. Like I said a few weeks ago, it's mirroring May 2022. Yeah, lots of people think that, actually. Shoe Smith. What's going on? Think I'd watch on YouTube tonight. Nice, bro. I like it. Tim's in the building. Heard OG holders that bought at 50 cents to $1 were selling before. I don't know what in relation to, but yeah. Chipper, what's going on? Aside from Iran and stocks ruining my plans, I would give it 2 weeks or get stopped out at 65k. There you go. Well, let's work through some of the analysis as to why maybe it is 2 weeks. Let's talk about what some of the things are that, could signal the bottom. There could be the things that tell us the markets are not going any higher. But here's an interesting play out on the chart. Now, if you remember, we talked about a couple of key points. We talked about this level here that we did actually lose yesterday. Great opportunity here. If you're going a little bit nearer on the 4-hour chart, and we were talking about this yesterday. We actually said, hey, if we lose the 20-day EMA, if you remember, this is literally 8 o'clock yesterday. So this is that spike that we got up. And I literally said to you, if you remember, if this breaks the 20-day EMA and heads to the 50 I am shorting this from the 50-day EMA. Well, what a trade that was, everybody. Holy shit. It literally hit absolutely perfectly on the 50. Look at this. All the way back down to this exact line that we drew. And in fairness, look at this. It actually went lower before wicking back up. So this kind of tells us, okay, you got your lines right. Your chart's there. This is kind of exactly the playbook. Now remember, it's also magic lines. These are just where we believe there is emotion or price action that we've certainly seen happening over the period of time. You can argue within the VPVR as well that this is giving us exactly that specific play. But why do I think it's going to go down lower? Why do I think maybe this is setting up? Well, the obvious pattern, and remember, we talk about a number of these patterns, is this pattern here. So very much a M pattern, which normally comes back down to the original point. That's generally how M patterns work. Before then, you see a break back to the upside. So in my opinion here right now, this is doing exactly what we anticipate because you've got this. Now, you may say, well, 2-bit, that might not be the case. Maybe it goes on to print head and shoulders pattern, possibly. If you go a little bit higher on the daily, you're kind of not really getting that. But the other thing, if you were to just play it on the small time, it is actually in a definite downtrend. Again, you've got the, I mean, arguably, there's the lower high, the lower low, and then you got the lower high there. So, you know, there's the high, there's the low, there's the low, there's the higher low. No, the lower high. Excuse me, Jesus Christ, can't put my fucking teeth back in. There is the lower high, and as we come down. So, you've got to see here that this is obviously playing out like that as well, which in line tells us that that's where we're going. Now, what's also worth noting here that if you tick on the daily, it's definitely more prominent on the 12-hour, is that you can start to kind of get a bit of a vibe for where this is starting to play out, which then can support our narrative of, well, where do we think it's going to bottom? Because obviously that is, again, an important point. Now, obviously I've just said, well, I don't do loads of lines and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, for me, this is kind of really obvious in terms of the pattern that we always talk about, which is the wick up, the wick down, the wick up. This, for me, probably plays down. This is why I think we probably come back to 66,000. We may get a little relief rally back up to around 68 before we then probably come back down and break down below that. That's just kind of where I sort of feel like price is going to go based on a number of things, which we can talk about a little bit later as we get into this. So very interesting in terms of where price is for Bitcoin. Again, the keynotes here, stochastic RSI is coming down, which could tell us we get a little bit of a relief rally, but at the same time, volume is terrible, which means that if you get movement, it's generally going to be pretty decisive and pretty obvious in the direction it's going to go. Hence why we're already getting this sell-off here on BTC. Now, if you would say to me, well, 2-bit, yeah, but the macro 2-bit, yeah, the macro doesn't look any greater. All right, macro just kind of sits where it is. So I think while we're in this range, this is kind of what we're looking at. Take the total market cap. You've got a very similar pattern playing out here. So even though, you know, we are in a world where you've still got $1 trillion worth of other coins, actually everything right now is almost sat waiting to see what happens with Bitcoin. And unfortunately, in my opinion, when you are in that place, that means that people are going to get taken advantage of. That means that people will short the market, long the market. Market makers love what's going on with this. $200 million worth of liquidations in the last 24 hours. So, you know, as I've said a number of times right now on the channel, be very mindful how you trade this market right now. I think there is real risk attached to it. Certainly to the downside, in my opinion. Matthew says, I'm calling a flash crash bottom around 42 to 45, then shoots back up. Wow, flash crash. Okay, Bowers. So what you're saying is no Lambo anytime soon. No Lambo this week or probably next week, but maybe the week after. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? JFR, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. When Tim gets scared, I'll get scared. I mean, Tim is never going to get scared. RP Jesse Jackson. Wow. Did not know that. What's going on, Craig? Good to see you. Avon's here as well. Tamar P, welcome in. Silver Day. It's been a minute. Welcome in, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Goblin Town before higher ground. Probably right, in fairness. Probably right. Also, just realizing here that my chat is not coming up. Why is my chat not coming up? Hello? 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 Why is the chat not coming up, bros? What? What? Anyone know why chat's not coming up? What, bro? Nah. Okay, that's the weirdest thing in the world. My chat's not coming up. All right, don't know why. So apologies. For some reason, I can't get chat up this evening. That is bizarre. All right, well, I don't know why. Don't know why. All right. Look at the weekly, 06, 2022, 08, 2022. I think that is exactly where we are. Well, did we do this before? So April, what did you say? 06, 22. So June. Okay, so you're like here, this bit here, yeah? Oh, I see. So so your belief is pushed down with a small wick to the upside, breaking below. I mean, technically, you could argue on the weekly here, we are not, well, we just broke below the 200 EMA. So yeah, I mean, I guess that could push us a little bit lower. Certainly could be in a world where we do that. Can you check the 1 hour time frame? Yes, I can, MG. Just chill out. Damien, what's going on, buddy? So yeah, the relief rally back to the 20-day EMA, followed by the capitulation. The only thing you have to be mindful of, I think, here, is you can almost just do that and scrap this off, because that was FTX collapsing. This whole wick here is FTX collapsing. So, you know, as long as we don't get like a black swan event, then, you know, in theory, we should have probably done that. So, you know, 961 billy is probably as low as the market should have gone. So, yeah, pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting. But yeah, I would be very much mindful of what's going on with what's going on here with BTC. So yeah, good. All right. There's the hour chart. Obviously, the charting's actually awful. So again, pretty interesting, isn't it? Like when you look at some of these lines, and again, when you talk about the 20-day EMA, which we've been discussing now forever, obviously that trading guide is within our within our premium Discord. You can get that by becoming a channel membership as well. But, you know, look at that. You know, very much a big old macro downtrend there on the hourly chart, very much below what we've got. And so you'd argue that we could be, you know, we probably need to stay below that range for a little bit longer yet. So, again, I'm not super bullish right now on this market. I do, however, think we're going to go down. It's interesting that some altcoins have actually been holding up pretty well today, but there's the hourly chart, MG. So I hope that was all right. And so we didn't have to freeze the chats tonight. No, we're all good. It's not coming up on the screen, which I don't really know why. Yeah, not quite sure why it's not coming up, but hey, it is what it is. I just personally think relief rally coming in at least 72k, then we can go lower. Maybe. I mean, it depends if you argue that from the bottom that I was the relief rally to the top. I mean, it was a decent move, but yeah, I mean, probably feels, I think it feels like we've got a little bit more downside to come. We'll talk about a bit of economic data as to why it's going to come in. So quick flick through, Ethereum holding up pretty well. Again, though, the broader term here is ETH very much still bearish. Yes, it's starting to consolidate this range down here. I mean, you could argue and say maybe you get a breakout coming in here on ETH. You know, perhaps, maybe. Not quite sure. Still below the 20-day EMA, which tells us that it's still very much a bearish sentiment. XRP, for those that care, broader term, XRP actually looks okay. Again, we talked about these potential as price ranges, but still very much below this particular trend here on XRP. So it's, you know, we're quite a way away from where we could even think about doing something better. So it's worthwhile probably just seeing where XRP goes in the shorter time frames, and hopefully we sort of get a little bit of a relief rally. Now, interesting with XRP, by the way, holding above the 20-day EMA, and it's no surprise that we actually see a little bit of green forming here on XRP. So pretty interesting. ADA, BNB, all pretty naff. Monad taking that 6% dump on the back of it. HBAR holding up. And I think I'm going to call them out and just say what I think. I think HBAR Foundation have gone and bought some marketing. That's just my opinion. I'm seeing loads of people come out talking about it that I never have seen talk about HBAR before. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, HBAR, like, have you seen this project? Like, it's great. I feel like they've gone out and splashed a bit of cash. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. But yeah, it feels like they've gone and bought some influencers, let's say. So watch out. HBAR might have a rally, you know. HBAR might get a little bit of momentum. You know, if it can break above the 100-day EMA here around 10.6, like, you could get a relief rally on this to the 200 EMA, definitely. So, you know, keep your eyes peeled on it, in my opinion. I think HBAR is sort of trying to do something a little bit different. Maybe they're starting to just, you know, spend a little bit of money trying to get a few things going, but feels like a few people are talking about it that have never spoke about HBAR before, ever. Will there be financial up 5%? Great. Probably going to get rejected off the 20-day EMA, so watch out for that. XDC, for those that care, above 1.1%. And more importantly, holding on the 20-day EMA, so you might get a little relief rally here on XDC as well. Could be an interesting little long trade if you got it. Litecoin at 54 bucks, playing out pretty much like we said yesterday. Look, expectation is that this comes down. And then Canton breaking back above, no surprise. Look at that, Craig. Nice little move here on, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Nice little move here on Canton that actually is very much holding above that. This was the move on the, earlier on today. Look at that wick up. Look at that wick. Absolutely perfect to the 17.2 range that we have here on the chart. So, yeah, Canton actually had a nice little move to the upside. Don't know if you had any sell orders sat, Craig, but that would have been a nice exit at 17.05 in the short term. Again, I think it has a lot going for it, so Canton, but that was another perfect setup there that we actually got that breakout earlier on today. And this is interesting because the markets actually were holding up pretty well into the hours and then obviously just dumped on the back of it. So, yeah, memes, not really doing anything. Watch out, pump. Again, keep your eyes peeled. We touched upon this the last time we were live and looked at this. Some pretty big analysis here on pump. So, could break out from its current position. Did break out on this channel, or one of the only coins that's actually done it. So, kind of interesting move here. And then, like we've said before, if you wanted to take that as a potential move, you can see there, look, the 618, 2318, break above that. Actually, you could end up with a nice little rally here on pumps. There's a couple of little altcoins that might start to move. And what's interesting is the decoupling with some of these altcoins from Bitcoin, which tells me that the market's almost in this, just in this place where it just doesn't even care what's going on. It's just like, whatever, all right? I don't care what's happening. The markets are the markets, and we'll get there if we get there. It's kind of that sort of sentiment right now. And the other thing I know that, the markets are where the markets are is we're just getting such lower viewership on videos and live streams because no one at the minute cares about cryptocurrency. So it's not the worst thing in the world. We've been here way before when everything was going to zero. So pretty interesting. But some very obvious, in my opinion, setups here on some altcoins that could end up being a good news story. Okay, what else has been going on? Well, call me surprised. Gold dumped. Oh, who called that? I mean, come on, guys. Seriously. Gold taking a massive dump and lost the 50-day EMA here on the 12-hour chart. So watch out if you are still FOMOing into gold, silver, and commodities. I fear for you, all right? So please be very mindful. The value trade right now is not commodities, all right? Just my opinion, based on logic and fact. Gold is not a good trade at 4,800 after then recording nearly 2 to 3 days of consistent selling pressure, all right? The banks, the institutions, the people that ran this mother trucker up to 5,500 are dumping on retail's heads, all right? So, be mindful. Silver's even worse as this continues to descend. And I think, you'll see, I think you see silver below $70 by the end of this week. Just my opinion, all right? But I think that then is one of the other reasons why we get the catalyst pushed down in the BTC price, because you're seeing this. And even copper isn't immune to it, selling off. Dow Jones down 49.50, so expect some pretty interesting stuff over the course of maybe this next week. We'll talk about one big announcement that's coming today. Dollar is flat as well. So not too much going on. Equity markets hold up. Stock market, all right. Nothing really crazy. Oracle still selling off with AI nervousness, as did Google, as did Tesla, as did Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy as well. So yeah, Fat Sonic says, World Limit Financial pumping hard right now. Well, is it? It's not going crazy, is it? Well, 6.5, yeah. I mean, it's doing all right. Don't try to short World Limit Financial. It's probably one of those coins that probably definitely aren't worth shorting, in my opinion, but hey. Hey, what's going on? Welcome in everybody who's joined on TikTok. All 8 people. I'm super bullish on whatever. We're in this kind of weird thing again when everyone hates cryptocurrency and no one watches anyone. So yeah, shout out to the 8 of you live here on TikTok. I appreciate it. Shout out to like 88 of you here on YouTube as well. So shout out everybody. Do me a favor, tap the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. All right. Beef says, 2-bit, would you expect Trump to pump the stock market heading to midterms? However, crypto 4-year cycle played out. Yes, I absolutely believe that Trump will push this market into midterms because probably you've got a little bit, I think anyway, with Trump is he's kind of losing on a couple of other areas. Like the narrative, I believe, on immigration isn't as strong as I think it maybe was. I haven't seen any recent poll data, but yeah, he needs to pump the market. It's one of the big things that he's sort of advocated for and that was going to pin a lot of a lot of kind of sentiment around. So yeah, I still think he runs the markets hot. Like, you got to understand, Kevin Warsh is going to come in. Besson and Warsh are going to drive this market. He's going to get rate cuts. He's going to get, obviously, his new Fed chair. So yeah, I expect him to run the market pretty hot, in my opinion. Ty says TikTok is banned in India. Wow. Why? I mean, I say why. I can definitely see why it would be. But anyway, right. That gives you a quick overview of the market. Like I said, what would I be looking for right now on BTC? If BTC can go green on the day, which is unlikely, by the way, but you could get this rally back up here on BTC, back to around 68K. That would be pretty interesting, part, if you ask me. 68k gives us the kind of almost this control line here of the current move, which again tells me that if we then went up and wicked up to the 20-day EMA of around 69.6, then my view would be short that off there. And I think it's one of those that is relatively I say relatively straightforward. It's not relatively straightforward at all, because you could easily just get absolutely wicked out and lose everything. But be mindful. The reason I use total as a better indicator of health of the market as opposed to BTC is it likes this BTC will catch up. Yeah, exactly. All right, good. So that's where we sit in terms of price action. No need to go into it a little bit. So this is kind of what I thought would be worth touching on here, which is where people are now starting to analyze what happened on the 1010. And the 1010 event essentially was investing in gold. Now is a bet against America. So this is why I'm saying about commodities. Like, don't bet into commodities. Like, commodities are a bad idea right now. I'm so tempted to close the live stream out on TikTok. Investing in Bitcoin is now a bet for America. So why? Bitcoin goes up, stablecoin demand goes up, US treasuries go up, rates come down, national debt slows, and dollar gets stronger. So you can see here that the projection of gold continuing into 2026 is exactly where we are versus BTC. Now, we've talked about this many times before. The bottom of Bitcoin indicates normally the top on gold. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, too bad. You're telling me Bitcoin's going to go down again. Obviously, nothing's in a full straight line. And this, gold could wick back to the upside. I don't personally see it anytime soon. I definitely don't see gold breaking a new all-time high. But I could see Bitcoin pushing down to the lows. Remember, the lows could just be 60k again. That's kind of where we get. We don't necessarily, I don't subscribe to 40k, 30k. I just don't, right? That's not where I get into the kind of view on it. But, my opinion, as many people do believe, is that this is the correlation, okay? This is kind of where we get, and you can see it there. So whenever we get this divergence between the two, generally then gets to a point where gold is overvalued, Bitcoin is undervalued. That is the rotation of where that happens. I do subscribe to that, depends. Fair enough. Tibet, did you decide against doing futures trading and tracking during lives? Could help some, maybe. Yeah, I mean, we've done a little bit. I haven't actually just set any trades up, but yeah, I mean, we could definitely do that live. Zach Hudson says, even though hey, Tibet, staying near you at the Trafford Centre. Nice, bro. I like it. I'll be there. I'll be near there tomorrow. I work over that way, so. But yeah, maybe Tim. I mean, if people kind of feel like that could be a good idea, then we could definitely be looking at doing some of those trades. I'd be down for that. The trouble you've got a little bit is, as daft as it sounds, the stream time's a bit awkward because you want US market futures to kind of see where they're going to go. But yeah, we could definitely have a look at that. Maybe if we get a chance by the end of tonight, we'll do that as well. That could be good news. So yeah, keep your eyes on that one for me. The other reason to understand why this becomes important is this. Look, 2025 change in Bitcoin ownership. Now, this has gone from, and this is again why, things are just different right now. They're just different, aren't they? Negative 696,000 BTC has then gone into funds, ETFs, governments, and businesses. People buying the dip, baby. Was made damage bridge by scamming, robbing, AI tracking people, etc. So a lot of work to repair. I mean, yeah, on the 1010 scenario, definitely. Blessed, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Hey, Tubby, did you catch Bloomberg cycle today? CEO of DTCC was on talking about tokenization. Is very bullish. I believe that is why we use XRP and XLM. Yeah, I actually did a video on XRP today. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the idea of tokenization, specifically on XRP as well, and XRPL more important actually, is pretty wild. And I think we're going to see some pretty crazy shit going on certainly with tokenization. Remember, US treasuries, we actually have some of them now on chain on XRPL as well. So yeah, I think there's some pretty cool stuff coming for sure. But I didn't catch that interview, but yeah, if you haven't checked that video, I'd definitely watch that as well. You have to imagine some whales are spreading out their wallets. Well, exactly. We're headed to tax season as well, aren't we? But does that mean that individuals just sold BTC and then bought back in on funds and ETFs? Possibly. At the same time, you're always going to see a decline in a year where price declines, if that makes sense. People aren't going to essentially, remember, people are kind of stupid when it comes to investing in cryptocurrency. They buy it when it's absolutely skyrocketing and dump it when it's like dumping. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I made it. Did they find Nancy yet? I don't think so. Not my idea. And some people have multiple wallets and if they won't reflect the data. Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, you're never going to get there. So worth noting. Now, this is an interesting one as well. Jane Street bought the second most IBIT BlackRock Bitcoin ETFs in Q4. And remember, you just have to be careful with a lot of this stuff because you could just send yourself spiraling into all sorts of crazy dark holes and crazy places. The best way, in my opinion, to understand it is, yes, Jane Street bought an absolute shit ton of IBIT's ETF, but so did many other people. And so do they continue to buy. Net inflows on crypto ETFs over the last 24 hours, 31.3 million, of which 15.1 million of that were actually in on Bitcoin. So yes, we are still seeing people buying the BTC dip. Pretty interesting, if you ask me, as that sort of all starts to play through. And this, again, aligns to kind of what people believe, which is that the idea that Jane Street deliberately crashes the market, then they buy the ETFs at the low range, and then the market just recovers through the course of the day. Yeah, well, fine. They may be doing that. I mean, what's interesting is their position and their latest change. So 7.1 million in terms of share value, and that's 20.3 million in terms of their position, 1.51%. So they really did buy the dip, and they really did buy an absolute shit ton of ETFs, specifically IBIT ETF, which is obviously the Bitcoin one. So pretty interesting. All right. So from all of that, we obviously potentially are hearing rumors that the White House will be scheduling another meeting with major banks on Bitcoin and the crypto market structure bill this week. Hopefully we get that. Then this would be good news. Permission DEX amendments go live on the XRPL tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. XRP and Aviva, BlackRock and MasterCard and XRPL all looks positive. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Aviva and MasterCard on XRPL. Great. It's great news. So yeah, are we about to potentially see the next meeting on the market structure bill? Casey, what's going on, buddy? Don't know where everyone is tonight. I have no idea. Everyone's like, too big crypto. I don't listen to this guy. He's rubbish. But interesting. Okay. So if you remember, we were talking yesterday as well about the Japanese yen. We talked about Japan's GDP. We talked about the obviously new minister that's in place and how they're potentially going to start to run this economy. And they want to try and stimulate the Japanese economy. It could be a bit of an unwind when it comes to the carry trade, maybe some nervousness, specifically around that kind of Japan-US dollar ratio. No surprise then that Trump announced a huge, historic trade deal with Japan. I mean, you couldn't write this stuff. I mean, we literally talked about this yesterday. We were going, well, keep an eye on it. I don't think it's as big as people think. But clearly there is an element of concern. Today, Trump's like, boom, massive trade deal with Japan. Let's go. It's like, when you're starting to get more plugged into the president and what he's doing and why he's doing it, then that's when you really should have about 8,000 people watching us and all the rest of it. But yeah, Japan is now officially and financially moving forward with the first set of investment under its $550 billion commitment to invest in the United States, part of our historic trade deal to revitalize the American industrial base, creating hundreds of thousands of great jobs, strengthening our national and economic security like never before. Pretty interesting, right? So the tremendous project, strategic areas of oil, gas. Now, why is that important, right? Why is oil and gas important? Well, because Trump needs to bring prices down. I've got Venezuelan oil. Now I need to get gas down. Remember, when we looked at CPI last week, gas was actually one of the big ones, 1.5% increase in natural gas, even though the US are actually a big exporter of it as well. In the great state of Texas, power generation in the great state of Ohio, and critical minerals in the great state of Georgia. Scale of these projects are so large that could not be done without one very special word, tariff. The gas power plant in Ohio, with the largest in history, and the LNG facility in the Gulf of America will drive exports and further our country's energy dominance. And our critical minerals facility will end our foolish dependence on foreign sources. America's building in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, pretty interesting if you ask me. Very exciting and historic time for the United States of America and Japan. I mean, you couldn't write it, could you? You couldn't write it if you ask me. Oh, dear me. Whatever Japan does, surely XRP benefits as they seem pretty focused on it. Well, Japan's kind of giving the nod to XRP as certainly to be able to build out and do way more stuff out there as well. So, Hong Kong is definitely going big on XRP, which kind of to me means that China's probably looking at it. But Japan certainly has been doing some big things. They've actually given XRP a very much more financially stable status in there as well. So XAUUSD. What do you want? As in the ratio? I mean, I don't trade currencies, by the way. So I apologize. But yeah, I don't know what you want me to show you. Just wanted to tell you what the price of it is. Chasmi coin. I mean, we talked about yesterday. I mean, this is the only unfortunate thing. You're probably not going to get much of a move. However, 12-hour look, Jasmine broke out, holding above the 20-day EMA. It's like, right, good. Let's go, Jasmine. Trump and Shinzo were good friends. So sad. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Trump and the new one, what's she called? Like Takasini or something. I mean, maybe all right. I mean, I don't know. Difficult to understand, isn't it? Okay, last couple of bits. Sailor buying $168.4 million worth of BTC. Keep going, Michael. He's propping up the market, everybody. He's propping up the market. So, yeah, average price 67,710. Acquired for $54.52 billion from its total Bitcoin holding, now sitting at 76,000. So, Sailor's in. He's buy the dip. Like, I mean, you can't rely on Sailor, though, as like, well, if Sailor buys the dip, it's a pretty good idea. You're like, is it? Is it? Don't know if it is or not, but anyway, you get my point. You get my point. So, so good news. Good news. I am so tempted to close this TikTok live down. Like, why would there just be 6 people in here? It's like embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing, actually. It's just like, why would some nights everything be fine? Other nights, just like nobody cares about what's going on. Keep hearing the next 40 hours are big for XRP was supposed to happen. Sorry if I missed it earlier. Joined late today. I haven't really seen anything that's specific in the next 48 hours. Not that I know of anyway. Unless someone wants to tell me otherwise, but yeah, I'm not sure. Not yet. Yeah, TikTok is super strange sometimes. Like it's just like as if no one, like they're just not pushing this out to anybody. I bet it's doing that weird thing that happened before. You know, when like, where it doesn't just show on anyone's homepage for some reason. Yeah, I know. I've done it once and it was the weirdest thing in the world. It was the weirdest thing. Crown, no, but just join our totally free Discord. I don't do one-to-one stuff, like, but you got any questions, any thoughts, any concerns, jump into our free Discord, link in my bio, ask any questions you want in the general chat, and everyone will try and answer it. If there's something really, really, really specific, just drop me a DM and I'll try and answer it too. But don't only make sure you do it to me, all right? Don't, like, randomly DM other people because they will definitely send you some stuff back. All right. And then, look, what's interesting, Michael Barr spoke, Federal Reserve, giving a view regarding the current state of the US economy. So we know that Barr's pretty flat where it comes in, but he talked about the AI investments in particular were extremely indifferent. Okay. The Fed's interest rate targets, adding that the wave of technology-driven investments were proceeding largely independently of the current monetary policy framework. So basically people are aping in when they shouldn't be. People are dumping money in like they're crazy people into the AI narrative, all right? He also noted that natural interest rate had risen slightly, but without dramatic change. Barr stated that the Fed could comfortably continue its monetary policy, right? That's not what we need, Michael Barr, because current continuation is flat rates, not reducing rates. However, he added that there were significant risks to inflation remaining above the 2% target. Barr said that it was a reasonable expectation that inflation would weaken later in the year as the impact of tariffs diminished. So he's kind of saying, look, right now, don't get your hopes up. Okay, we can stay relatively neutral on our policy view before maybe at the end of the year as everything washes through and the cost of goods go down. Remember, yes, CPI went down 2.4%, but it still means that inflation is rising 2.4%. All right, I think a lot of people miss this. So, you know, it's kind of what it is. To be the XRP countdown is when the DEX gets activated. Okay. Last year, administration changed the definition of recession so we wouldn't have one, and we haven't recovered yet still. I mean, that's true. By the way, I still think the US goes into recession, as I think the UK goes into recession. I think if Trump can avoid it for the next couple of years, or certainly 18 months, that's exactly what he's going to do. And if that means that he's got to bring cost of energy down, which is the biggest crux of it all, you think about where the last 18 months of, and certainly the business I work in as a 9-to-5, one of the biggest costs that weren't expected in the last 18 months was energy. The sum was like £150 million more based on what they'd originally forecast for. So Doug says it's funny how some are sharing their plans for the Bitcoin dip. Bitcoin is right on track per cycle, dropping to 40k and then uptrend begins to over 200,000. There you go. You see, Doug knows what's up. I think you're a little bit too bearish at 40k, but hey, I think your sentiment aligns to pretty much most people on this channel as well. But I mean, yeah, you've got people that are already going. I mean, some people have flip-flopped more times than generally I've had school dinners. I mean, I watched someone that was like, oh, the bear market's here. Then the day after, they were like, oh, I'm buying. Bull market. Day after, oh, bear market again. You're like, oh my God, like, people watch this stuff. The DEX goes live at 10:56 UTC tomorrow. Oh, nice. It'll be tough for him to avoid because there's already some states that said they're in recession and it's not a full-blown one yet, but it seems like it's building up. Yeah. If he can get the cost of energy down, that will definitely help. If he can get the cost of interest rates to come down, that will definitely help. And then essentially, if you're going to give people more money from a higher earnings perspective, then that will also help. These stimulus checks maybe gets them out, maybe it doesn't. These are all things that are going to be stimulative in the short term, but screw the economy longer term. You know, you think about stimmy checks of, I think the number we ran about was about $2 billion. You've got the deficit like absolutely skyrocketing like you wouldn't believe right now. So yeah, he's going to have to do something. And I don't think you can debt your way to success, is my view. Equally, I do kind of argue that maybe completely cutting everything out and just trying to go from a cost base savings expectations, that you can't do it. You can't do it. So interesting if you ask me. Look what happened when the inflation after the stimulus checks for the cut. Yeah, exactly, Zach. Exactly that. So, you know, I mean, obviously the whole kind of pandemic era was slightly different, but you're right. Like the whole narrative of nothing's free applies whether it's federal government, applies whether it's countries, applies whether it's the bloke on the corner that's trying to give you some money for, like all of that. You know, it's it is very much a concern as well, in my opinion. Yeah, actually, some of the states are struggling to have high energy costs, but that is where also red states that are also struggling because of tariffs and collapse of tourism. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hope you. Well, let's hope so. The manufacturer's 100% coming back. Look at the first term, and he wasn't trying as hard as he is now. That's true. Well, look. And again, so many people have gone, well, ISM, it's back above 52. Expectations are, by the way, that it kind of grows again, I think. We'll sort of see. We've got a little bit longer for that to come in. But yeah, you could argue and say manufacturing is going up. Like, hey, great news. Great news. It needs to continue, though. And actually, where you've got a weakening jobs market, that's the risk a little bit, isn't it? That's the risk a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see. But interesting, you just brought that up. I was just looking at something earlier on around the travel thing. But yeah, real economic consequences. US warned over ESTA visa changes. The fact that there's a injection, 4.7 million international tourists are at risk. The Tourism Council reveals that US risks losing 157,000 jobs and up to 4.7 million international tourists. Proposed changes to the US visa waiver program, which would require international travelers to provide more extensive disclosure of their social media activity, could have a major economic impact in the country. Interesting, right? You literally just called it. So, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Junior on TikTok. We managed to break 2 figures. Good news. Hey, 10 people. So worth it. All right, everybody. You 10 are amazing. I mean, the Epstein hate is hard. Yeah, he needs to do something that. And again, I don't sit on either side here, right? I live in the UK. We've got our own problems, quite significant problems here in the UK, actually. But I did watch the Senate congressional hearing, and I think I said this the other night, with Pam Bondi talking about the Epstein files. And it's almost a joke. It's just like, you can't sit there being asked about one thing and talk about something completely different. Your answer to a question can't be, well, have you seen what you did? It's like, no, that's not what you're looking for. So, yeah, I think that's a potential risk for midterm as well. The whole like Epstein thing is definitely a risk for midterms, which either then backtracks or he pivots on that, or he absolutely rams the economy down people's throats. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, the fewer international tourists is interesting, isn't it? Negative 34%. It's all connected. I love the fact that you guys are all like, everyone's dialed in now. Like this community is amazing. Like we're plugged into what's going on way more than other people has. It's interesting. Criticism in Southern California and Hollywood is absolutely dead compared to any other time. Yeah, well, we just saw, 34% down. Wild, isn't it? These show trials need to be off camera and actually, but yeah, I agree, Fat Sonic. Yeah, I agree. It was like a tit for tat, really bad game of table tennis. What time to be alive to DC into Bitcoin? Also loading up an XCN ahead of the Goliath blockchain launch. Doug, nice. Like your vibes. Like your vibes, Doug. It's a good way of looking at it. No use holding for me. I'm off to Cornwall. Whee! Fairground will be down there. You can say hello to him. But yeah, it's interesting with this kind of economic data stuff. Don't forget, tomorrow, FOMC minutes come out. Is it going to be the big catalyst we all want? Probably not. It's not going to really be a big deal. We're not going to get, I don't think, any indication of Well, you know, we think policy's right. You've heard HBAR talk today. Like their view is that they're on the money when it comes to economic policy, which we all know is wrong. So yeah, not gonna get it. Not gonna get it. So we'll see. Federal Reserve Board issues enforcement action with former employees of Regions Bank. I have no idea what that's about, but apparently that was today. An enforcement action. Banks are going bust. Oh my god. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. Sorry, there's loads of stuff just like pinged up on my timeline here on X, but I don't see a lot that's like, oh, this is like super crazy bullish news. But the World of Financials Crypto Forum at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow will feature Goldman Sachs CEO. Wow, man, they are really pumping this, aren't they? Goldman Sachs CEO, NASDAQ CEO, Franklin Templeton CEO, and others, organized by Trump family-backed crypto businesses World of Financial. The event will be hosted by Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. Wow, holy shit, that's pretty wild, isn't it? Think about that. Dan says, hey, how are you, mate? What are your thoughts on HBAR and FedEx becoming a council member? I mean, we spoke briefly about HBAR at the start of the stream, but yeah, I mean, lots of people are starting to get pretty excited about it. Potential 50% breakout. You know, these. I kind of a little bit like Algorand. It reminds me of that, where it just sort of moved and it moved pretty aggressively. So, you know, there's a lot of good stuff going on with HBAR. I think they've got a load of stuff that they're building in the background. I always said that their development on their chain was pretty good as well. So, derivatives markets are absolutely pricing in a further move to the upside, and people even predict this could get to 10 cents again. So, yeah. Interesting. Whenever people think the market's dead, that is the time when you should be certainly positioning yourself. Yeah, breaking Meta and NVIDIA announced a multi-year partnership to expand AI infrastructure. Oh, come on. Oh, it continues. This is what I mean. Like this shit is what I mean, by the way, when I say, watch out the AI narrative, like Trump's going to pump the economy, like, oh, Meta and NVIDIA. I wonder what they're going to be doing. Oh, NVIDIA says its partnership will deploy millions of NVIDIA GPUs. What a surprise. Come on. Oh, Jesus. We've called, just FYI, we called the Japan deal. We literally said, watch out, something's going to happen with Japan. And we also call in this AI bullshit that's just going to happen. It's insane. I bet you £1 million Meta dumps its arsehole off in about a month's time. Meta down. I mean, it's down marginally on the day. I bet Nvidia's flat 1%. So nothing crazy here on Nvidia, but relatively flat here over the course of the last sort of 12 to 24 hours. That's super crazy. Oh, yeah, we're going to give $100 million to OpenAI. Like Sam Altman, we think he's super crazy. Like, here's $100 million. Here's loads of chips you can get. And then all of a sudden, Nvidia's like, well, you know, this kind of AI power, maybe OpenAI is crap. And oh, you what, Zooks? Yeah, hey, I got some chips for you, baby. Oh my god, it's wild, isn't it? It's wild. Who controls AI though? Well, Fairground. I mean, that's for a totally different live stream, because that when you start getting to that stuff, mate, you start to get worried. Is my opinion. Anyway. Fatsoning said retail is buying all this shit. Well, exactly, yeah, 100%. People are going to FOMO into stocks. People are going to FOMO into gold, and just get dunked on. Again, I said to you guys yesterday, I was trying to get into some of the balance sheets for gold, but it's so difficult. Like, it's wild. No one wants to tell you if they're holding gold right now. I like chips and salt and vinegar. I'm getting sick of all this meta stuff. It's ruining everything. I mean, like, isn't he like the 6th or 7th richest man on the planet? Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Okay, right. Sorry. I was just looking at something else then. You know, Eric and Don Trump Jr. will talk about American Bitcoin stock. ABC loaded up on that dip. Currently closed at 109, down from down from $14 a share. Christ. That is wild, isn't it? Only because he's making money off of but yeah, I mean, Facebook's wild, I think. Facebook is wild. Military traders in the building. What's going on, George Crypto? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Yeah, ABTC is a wild chart. Should we bring it up? All American Bitcoin Core. Let's have a look. Let's put it on the weekly candles. Yeah, that is. I mean, it literally trades like a meme coin. It's awful, awful. Yeah, it's pretty wild. In fairness, that is a wild chart. But yeah, like I said, my view is I think people are going to get absolutely demolished on commodities if they're not careful. So if you are trying to buy the gold dip, silver dip, and you think it's going to run back to 6,000, remember we looked at the recent polling on gold. The price prediction thing. You remember we looked at it and people were like, yeah, it's going nowhere near. It's going nowhere near, in fairness. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting. There we are. Look, Trump announced Japan has begun investing in major US developments. Tokenized stocks are unstoppable. Last year, the sector gave 29x as Ondo Global Markets emerges the #1 platform. I mean, Ondo are like, they are really working hard. They just seem to not be getting any traction. But, I mean, the broader market's crap at the minute, isn't it? But Ondo, I still think, has a real opportunity to come back as well. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Okay, let's bring the 4-hour chart here on BTC just so we can keep an eye on it. I do absolutely see us pushing down to below 67K. So, watch out, everybody. Watch out, in my opinion. Okay, good. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway announced it sold 77% of its Amazon stake in Q4, worth $1.7 billion. Buffett also sold $2.7 billion of Apple. Now, I wanted to look at this. Let me see if I can get this. September, man. It's really difficult when you search for something. It doesn't bring you what you want. I mean, that's kind of what I want, but not quite. Not quite. Oh, that's kind of what I need. I want this chart. I actually want this chart, but it's over a year old, so that chart's going to be no good to me. It's going to be no good to me. Oh, here we go. Oh, this might be a good one. Yeah, this kind of... Okay, cool. This is what I wanted to see. This is kind of what I wanted to show you. And again, this kind of plays into the narrative as to why we're probably going to see further upside momentum and equally supports this narrative of why Trump's trying to bring the price of energy down. So this is the US CPI electricity cost. So essentially the cost to consumer over the last, 25 years. Look how crazy this is. And again, you've got from back here, look, in early May 2004, between May 2004 and January 2000, right? A 68% increase over the course of 20 years, right? So an increase in the cost of energy, again, since January 2000. This plus 40% in 5.5 years is the AI bubble with the data center expectation now to nuke this to like absolutely insane levels, which is, I mean, it's absolutely perplexing that this is going to kind of go even higher, which if you ask me is kind of wild. So super crazy chart here, but expect this to move up. This is why Trump needs to get cost of energy down if he truly is want to do. But now add data centers, EVs, and a grid built for 1985. This line probably won't ever flatten. Pretty interesting, right? This is the Trump playbook. He needs to get energy down, otherwise he's knackered. He's knackered. Doug, why does my chart show that it was once valued at 144K on the share? What's that for? That's on a Yahoo Finance shows ABTC all-time high was 1465. There you go. There you go. It was launched as like they had a funding round, didn't they, for it? But yeah, I mean, that's wild. Like, like if you think of cost, that's going to drive this market. That's going to drive this market. 74% chance that Supreme Court rules President Trump's tariffs are illegal. It's going to be a disaster. Friday. People, protect this. Grab the women and children first. Save yourselves. Nuclear energy is what they're shooting for. Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw that. Is it like, I mean, is it China that's building loads of nuclear energy? I can't remember. Let's have a look. Nuclear, man, honestly. I need this to be a bit higher. It's kind of annoying. Small modular reactors. Oh, this might work, actually. Here we go. Here we go, people. Here we go, people. So this is coming to rapidly growing demand for nuclear fuel. Nuclear generation reached a new record in 2025 and is set to rise steadily through 2030. Global nuclear generation by country and by region. Interesting. So yeah, so the blue line is the European Union, declining, obviously, because in the European Union, we believe that, wind power is going to be the best way forward. Like, again, I'm not sitting on any political side, but you're insane if you think you can power countries and AI based on wind power. You are literally insane if you think that's going to work. United States, obviously, flat and will start to increase. Look where it's interesting, though. China, booming in nuclear power. India, kind of booming in nuclear power. Other Asia and other. So, it's interesting, isn't it? Everyone else is going to the upside. European Union were like, oh, look. I mean, have you seen what the wind power can do? But Sonic, I'm not going to say that out loud, but that's a... It's probably true. China. Small modular reactors. Yeah, I definitely saw they were like trying to get some technical stuff going on. But yeah, interesting. The Fluence interview came on my feed. Watched it. Good work, mate. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun doing that. I would love to do some more like podcasty interview things. The only problem with that was I was like at work doing my 9-to-5 job at the busiest time of the year where I work. So I literally was at my mum and dad's house and I just jump on my phone rather than being here, which would have been way better. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, too bad I work in nuclear. UK's finally turned the corner with Hickory. With what? Hinkley Point C and SMRs. Nice. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds cool. Oh man, I can't believe. Can you get me like a tour around a nuclear power plant? That'd be ace. I'd love to go around a nuclear power plant. It'd be cool as anything. What is Hinkley Point C and SMRs? Let me have a look. What is Hinkley Point C? Tidal power next until the pivot. Yeah. Hinkley Point C is a major nuclear power station project under construction in Somerset, designed to provide low carbon electricity for approximately 6 million homes. For 60 years, the first new nuclear power station to be built in the UK in over 20 years, and it's a crucial part of the UK's plan to achieve net zero. I mean, I've always said that, for net zero, just build loads of nuclear power plants. By the time you've got to take them down, then hopefully we find a solution to deal with the uranium. I mean, makes sense to me. Small modular reactors, baby, they're going to be the size of a shipping container. That's wild, isn't it? It blows my mind, all that kind of stuff. But that's cool, awesome, by the way. Love that. Also, about 2-bit interacts with the live chat. So many YouTubers never interact. Thanks, bro. Hey, Doug, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. The grid in the US may not handle it. I mean, that's true as well. Yeah, they just need to get more energy, don't they? If they really want to boom this AI narrative, which is where people are like, well, if AI booms, then everything else is going to boom. They've got to kind of, they need power. That's why Trump's kind of saying to him, well, build your own pissing power plant like next door. It's kind of wild. As long as nuclear power plant isn't one of the... Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's true. That's true. Or doesn't do like Fukushima didn't blow up. Like, we don't need that. Like, definitely don't need that. That's a bad news story, all right? That is a bad news story. All right, good. Good. What time are we on? Oh my God, it's nearly 10 o'clock. Where did that friggin' hour go? That's crazy, bro. Crazy. Okay, massive trade deal with Japan. We did that. Mr. Beast averages 1 billion plus unique viewers every day. Mr. Beast done the mention of ethereum onto the video. Okay, yeah, cool. Cool. Nothing else really going on, to be honest. It's all a bit quiet out there. In crypto land, BlackRock's iShares staked Ethereum ETF ticker ETHB filing includes expense ratio, which would be at 0.25. Wow. And BlackRock really are trying to, get involved. Right. Sorry, I just got really, really confused with something I was looking at then. That is absolutely freaking wild. Okay. Okay. So that's where BTC is right now. Right. What have you guys got? Any thoughts, questions, opinions, views? I don't know. What's on your mind, baby? Your mind. It's obvious that there are implications like when AWS goes down. Yeah, the whole world stops. When AWS goes down, everything stops. Hickory Point C, then they do Swizzle B. I work near Sellafield. Oh, nice. Sellafield. Where's that? I feel like that's not far from me. Sellafield is located in the coast of Cumbria. All right, yeah, that's not actually that close to me, but I guess it's nearer than Somerset. Wow, it's cool, man. Like, I mean, fair play. Like, you must be like one of those like super. Do you get like a white coat and a white hat? With Zach Hudson 7209 written on the back. That'd be cool, as that would be pretty cool, actually. The engineering is going to be cool. Well, that's it. I mean, this is the other thing as well, isn't it? Like, it becomes a self-fulfilling thing. You build AI power plants, you then make AI find newer ways to produce energy, which then means you build more energy, which means you can run bigger data centers on AI. Like, yeah, AI is taking over the world, everybody. Strap in. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. All right. Okay. We need to take a look at pre-markets just to get a vibe check on what is going on tomorrow. Obviously, the FOMC minutes will be interesting. Calendar-wise, we've got a couple of bits. Nothing crazy, by the way. Housing starts, durable goods. Nothing of any particular interest. We've got any speakers tomorrow? Bowman. Oh, Jesus. So Bowman speaks tomorrow. All right, cool. Cool. I don't think that's a big deal, but anyway. So futures markets look okay. Dow open. NASDAQ down. Hong Kong, pretty flat. Yeah, everyone's bored with this market right now. It's wild. It's wild. I don't believe the AI thing. Did everyone hear FedEx picked HBAR? Not sure of the details. I think wasn't it working through or something? I feel like FedEx joins Adira Council amid the rising HBAR momentum. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. So FedEx Core, the global shipping giant, moving on 16 million packages daily across 220 countries on Friday. Has joined the Hedera Governing Council. Yeah, FedEx commits to blockchain digitalizing the global supply chain. There we go. There we go. It's not necessarily energy for just AI. It can bring costs down and provide good manufacturing plants. I mean, that's also true as well. That's also true. Right, I'm going to try and do something here real quick. Okay. Is this going to work? Oh, man. Right. TikTok, you're just going to have to bear with me really quickly. All right. Don't hit me for some reason. I just need to do something. Oh, man. We're on a clock. Go on. Right. We might be back. There we go. Ah, yeah, I did it. Ace. All right, everybody. I was just really quickly logging into my Bitunix account. By the way, a link in the description. Look at this Valentine's Day campaign. Oh, I could win a Gucci bag. Click claim. Can I win a Gucci bag? Oh, bro. What? Bro, you have to invite people. Oh, I thought I was going to get something cool then. Okay. Anyway. Let's have a look. Yes, I want to leave. Invite Fox News to join as a guest. Is Fox News really in my TikTok live? Hey, Fox News, if you are really in my TikTok live, you should get me on one of your shows. I could dial in from here and get like a UK narrative on it. Man, you definitely need to get it sorted. DM me, Fox News. Let's do something. Do it. Anyway, a Gucci backwards to YouTube. Do you reckon? Okay, right, let's finish off pre-markets, by the way. Pre-markets, look at this. Commodities, see? Commodities expectations down 2.95, silver 5.71, natural gas. So even though they're trying to do this trade deal, or they have this trade deal with Japan, natural gas down 6%. Interesting. So commodities are not the place to be right now. So if we if we continue to see commodities sell off, this could be very good news for the crypto market. I mean, look at that. This is the gold futures market here, and it is still negative. It's still selling off. Thoughts on ADA? I mean, Charles Hodgkin's going to do whatever he can to make it move. Whether he can make it move is a different debate. Is my honest opinion when it comes to Cardano. You have my vote too a bit on Fox News. Let's do it. Fox News, hit me up. Correction will be healthy in other markets than just crypto. I mean, that's true. Yeah, crypto just seems to deplete its way down. So, yeah, cool. All right. Position view switching. Okay, yeah, it's fine. I don't understand it all. I just clicked that. I do. Right. So BTC. If we were looking to trade this right now, obviously this is Bitunix. There is a link in the description. Also, By the way, my thoughts on ADA, wouldn't bother with it in a minute. I think there's other coins that will do better when the market turns around. If we were looking to trade this particular asset, I mean, I don't recommend the 15-minute, by the way, unless you're scalp trading. But, you know, what you can see here, just FYI, is a definitive push down in the market here. So you could argue and say, well, if we can see a push back up, 68.2 could be an interesting short position. So 68.2 would be, you know, would be kind of aligned to this level here. So yeah, maybe we set, I mean, look at that. Look at that line there. That'd be a super interesting trade, wouldn't it? So what you've got there is support that became resistance. You've also got this downward sloping trend line, which we've not broke yet. So arguably this then becomes a key area. So what are we looking for? We're looking for this reversal back to the upside, aren't we? We're looking for that. I'd be interested to see where this kind of all plays out on this actual full move. So if I take this all the way back up here. So you see the 618 Fibonacci is just above it there at 68,268. So yeah, it could be interesting. Could be interesting. So we could do it actually. So let's put it on there. 68. What did I say? 68,268 is potentially where we're going to go. Let's do 6x leverage. Let's put in, we don't need to do something crazy. Let's do like $1,000, all right? And then we need to put in our stop loss, which would be, so in my opinion, stop loss would be the upper range. So 69 if we did that. So we lose, you know, we'll lose $65 if it doesn't trigger that point. Take profits would be the lower range here, 66,810. Next is 132 if it goes in, all right? And then up and short. Yeah, cool. All right, so there we go. So we've put in, so that, again, what we're looking for here, if people care about it, and I welcome your opinions, by the way. So we're looking to trade off this downward sloping trend line, slightly above this. So the argument will be, if it breaks this, it probably wicks up here. Our stop loss is at the upper range, so we have all of this room to go. And then if it dips down, then this is where we get TP. So, you know, potentially this is kind of where I'd be looking at it. So that trade's open. We'll see if it triggers. Remember what I said the other day. Don't try and FOMO onto the trade at that exact moment in time. Just set it up and see what happens. We may get this. We may not. You know, it may come down a little bit further. Fine. If we don't get it, don't stress it. That's my opinion. Look at the 4 hour for my move. So that's the 4 hour chart. I mean, you can see kind of these buys and sells, by the way, where I've sort of traded this market anyway. So, again, been using Bitunix, great platform, no KYC, loads of benefits. Check out the link in the description. Also in my bio on Discord. All right, so get involved in that as well. But yeah, also I would actively, recommend researching it, and also join our premium Discord. By the way, we put trade alerts in there. Obviously, our bots and trader bots are in there and everything else. So again, if you're interested. Okay, so that is where, but yeah, you see where I was doing, we did some analysis off this the other day. I mean, look at that trade that we did the other week. I mean, boom, nailed it, everybody. Freaking nailed it. Right. Man, how do we clear this off? Oh, like that. There's a lot of crap on that. Oh, bro, what is that? There we go. There we go. All right, so we'll see what this one does. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Trade's already set up, so see how it plays out. Cool. Cool. All right. Everything's groovy. Now, 4 hour chart, Fat Sonic. What are you telling me? I'm already in my trades, but it's all long. Interesting. I mean, these are short-term trades, aren't they? I mean, like I said, my long trade is sat waiting down here somewhere. That's where we're looking for it, down there. So whether we get it, I don't know. We'll see. Too scalpy. Yeah, look, I get that. I get that. I guess I'm more showing, like Tim said, more showing just kind of how you can trade it, what the opportunity is. I mean, if you're going to trade on a bigger time frame, you want to be at like an hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, really. But, you know, again, it probably shows the principle of whether this works or not. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see if it does anything. We will see if it does anything. Okay, so that can come over here. HBAR we've talked about. Federal Reserve we've talked about. That's all fine. Nothing too crazy going on over here. This is all fine. That's why I said something like, yeah, I mean, definitely definitely set stop losses. 2-bit, I'm waiting with you for this $1 trade. Well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for. So this down here, leverage, and, you know, hopefully we can sort of get it and ride this mother trucker all the way back up. But yeah, definitely worth setting stop losses. I mean, look, ETH's gone green on the day, which is kind of wild. XRP does look like it's sold off a little bit. HBAR looks like it's got some moves. World Limit Financial could be an interesting one, especially if this can continue moving on the back of obviously this stuff. What you're probably going to find is that you'll get loads of shorts coming in on this World Limit Financial, and they'll pump this to the 50 EMA. This could go here, by the way, in my opinion. Firehouse Chinese Lunar New Year's tends to be linked to fourth full change. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I would like to see it go down just a little bit further, in my opinion. Just in my opinion, by the way. So, yeah. Chart Prime. Yeah, look at that. The Chart Prime team messaged me, actually. They were like, hey, we've got something cool we want you to have a look at. Bro, I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Let me know. Do you recommend any meme coins? Occasionally. In the Discord, in the premium Discord, we do. There is actually one launching tomorrow that I am a VC investor in, which could be good. It could be good. It's got a good team behind it. Like I said, I'll put it in there. I'll put it in the main chat once it's live and stuff. But I think the trouble with meme coins at the minute is that I just see loads of bad actors trying to make some money that they lost on leverage or they lost in the market. So, yeah, I've not seen a good meme coin launch for a while, really. Mouse, what's going on? Bullish, what's going on as well? The link orders, like limit orders, won't be a great idea to buy lower. I mean, that's also true as well. If you want that liquidity taken out, it's bad for the market. Yeah, because it's going to cascade very quickly if we don't slow it down and we all lose 65k. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If we do lose 65k, then we're going to be in for a little bit more pain. Right. Okay, everybody. What have we got here? Michael Saylor says that Bitcoin winter will be shorter than previous ones and will follow the spring and the glorious summer. All right, cool. Cool, Michael Saylor. We're all for it. I'm for it anyway. New BlackRock has seeded its upcoming iShares stake. Wow, this is moving pretty quick, isn't it? Look at this. BlackRock has seeded its upcoming iShares staked ETH ETF with 100k by purchasing 4,000 seed shares at $25 per S1 filing. The fund, traded under ticker ETHB, will stake up to 95% of its AUM. This follows BlackRock's filing for a staked Ethereum project. Wow! Where did that come out of? Go Ethereum! Let's get it. That's going to be great fucking news. ETHB. Do we think it's on here yet? ETHB. 21 shares. Ethereum ETP. Look at this. Oh, no, this is the ETP, though, isn't it? Okay, yeah, that's all we need. So they've just seen it rather than lost it. Are you not sending notifications invites to live? Yes. They should go out. If you've got your notifications set to all, then it should just go out. Yeah. I knew something like that would be up. I knew like I knew that would be the thing. It happens like all the time. But yeah, I mean, I literally been tweeting about it as well, in fairness. But yeah, it should just come out. Like notifications are set. You can always tell. That's what I think happened with TikTok. It's like they just decide they're not going to share like your content. You're like, all right, yeah, nice one. Cheers for that. Excellent. All I would say, Mouse, is 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern, every day of the week except Saturday, I'll be live. Unless I'm ill, hungover, or not at home. So, yeah. But other than that, I'll be live. Swapping Canton for Pepe. I mean, Pepe is an interesting one. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking, do I DCA some Pepe? Is that a good idea? Bear in mind, and I'm open about this, I'm underwater quite significantly on Pepe. Which is, you know, we bought the launch, we rallied it up, we sold, and then I got back in thinking that Pepe was going to be like the big move. I thought Bitcoin was going to go high. So I'm underwater on Pepe. Now, you know, let's say, for example, you're underwater by $5,000, you could put like 1,500 in. It's going to do pretty much a good job in terms of bringing your DCA price down. My view, though, is if I believe the market's going to go down, I'm counterintuitively going against my own thesis, which is if I believe the market's going to push to 60k, then I think Pepe goes down. Therefore, that's when I buy in. So like I've said before, My trade is set up to go about 61.8, I think it is, something like that, with a little bit of margin left to try and dive in. I've not had one for the week on TikTok, though. You might have had a week off. No. I knew that was the thing. So why would it not be sending notifications out? I've even been uploading content as well. Man, social media is a scam sometimes. Either face fits or it doesn't. It is really cheap at the minute, Craig, yeah. So, yeah, and then my view, by the way, is when that market does push down, is that's when I will just deploy my capital and be like, right, get involved and see kind of where we can position it. Ondo, we just talked about where that one is right now. I mean, even something like Canton, Sui's another one I've been discussing for ages that's like, look, it's on my shopping list, but I think it keeps coming down. Didn't break the 20-day EMA, lost it. Could come down again 85 cents. Does it go lower? Potentially. Like, these are where I get. And I think so many people do this. They have a theory. They say, well, I think the market's going to go down. I think that's where we're going to get to. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I bought some more Bitcoin today. And you're like, why? If you think the market's going down, do you know what that is? FOMO. What's my stop loss? What on BTC? 69,010. When people get too big, they want to shadow ban them. Oh, really? You think that's the thing? I asked a friend, he said, if you miss more than one day in a row streaming, it takes a week or two to get back on TikTok. Really? Wow. That's, I mean, I can imagine it. I can so imagine it. I mean, yeah, look, I mean, overall, now I'm just looking at it. We've got about 600 views in total. So we actually did end up being all right. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I imagine the same thing. It's weird, isn't it? My live streams are doing pretty well. It's my content that just, for some reason, people hate at the minute. I don't know why. I don't know why everyone hates my content, but I mean, it just feels like this is kind of, I think, why you can get a bit of a sentiment of where markets are right now, is that the whole market is just dreadful. I mean, I'm not calling Zach out, by the way, because I know Zach and I speak to him, but he did a Bitcoin video and it literally got like 200 views. You're like, what? So what, I can't remember what Zach's got. 205,000 subscribers, right? So, Zach's not messing about. But yeah, like some of these are like, it's wild. Like just the suppression right now. Yeah, look at this. 271 views a day ago. 200,000 subscribers. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it did, Curtis. I could have gone live, but boy, I was not in a good place. Long BTC stop loss at 64.8, so manage risk accordingly. Nice. Sports psychologist in the house, just want to say happy Tuesday, my friend. Hey, what a lovely, lovely thing to do. Shout out to you, my man. Love that. So many people come in and go, oh, I think you're wrong, you're a dickhead, and then they leave and they just never speak again. But that's, hey, shout out to you, my man. Sports psychologist in the house. What would you say is the most important thing that people need to learn or know or mentally deliver when it comes to sports? The only reason I say that, by the way, is my little boy is really good at football, as in soccer, if you use, by the way, like really good. And he's currently started playing. He's not even 6 yet, by the way. He's currently started playing at a FIFA accredited team on a Saturday morning. But he keeps getting really mad with himself because he keeps, like, some of the other kids are genuinely like, unbelievable. You're like, are they actually AI or are they real people? But he keeps getting, he'll be like, oh, Dad, I just didn't do very well today. He scored 6 goals today at this camp. I only scored 6. It's really good, actually. But I think BTC goes to 55k. Wow. Yes, I work for the Sacramento Kings to move out of the mind and into the body and mindfulness. Like it. That's bullish. Love that. Love that. Let him get mad at himself. Let him feel defeat and hate it. I mean, that's also true. I mean, that's why I take him and not my missus. Because I rub it in. I literally said to him the other day, if you don't score at least 6 goals, I'm not picking you up. Hey, guys, do you see 41k BTC? Not sure. I don't think so. Well, let's just do this really quickly on BTC, just to get a bit of a vibe check of where we think BTC might go. Remember, we did this as a Fibonacci retracement from the peak down to, obviously, this was the original Dumperino. 50. I mean, my prediction there, based on the bottom of the move back in 2022. So this is the bull market or the, accumulation into the bull market. If we Fibonacci retracement that, the lowest range I think we could dip to is 57,889. That's the lowest I think we could go to. And by that, I mean, we could literally be a wick down. Just my opinion, all right? Just my opinion. So I don't necessarily think we get to 40K. 40K is the 236 Fibonacci or a bit lower, which would be wild to get down to that far. So yeah, I'm not sure we get there. Wife is nice. As his dad, don't push too hard, but hopefully he finds momentum. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, look, I don't do the weird thing of standing on the sidelines like, get up and try harder. I just make sure that when it's just me and him, he knows exactly how I feel about it. Make him see the spears and concrete. Love it. Holy shit, it's turned into a totally different stream. Thanks, Curtis. I appreciate the 5, man. You don't have to do that, but shout out to you, buddy. Well, it's still annoying that it's not coming up on my screen, though. Like, what? Why is it not coming up on my screen, bro? Live chat. But thank you, man. I appreciate the 5. You guys are cool as ice. But I don't know why it's not bringing the chat up, which is even more annoying. Everybody's cool as ice. Right, what time are we on? Oh my god, it's 10:15. 10:15, everybody. I need to be out of here. There's a fine line between forcing him to carry on for keeping him going because you know he's enjoying it, but listening. Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Look, he loves it. He was a full Barcelona kit today with his boots on. He's got bright orange boots. I think they're like some sort of Predator boot as well. I don't know what they are. Anyway, we totally decouple from Bitcoin here right now. So we've got a short trade set up on BTC. Let's see if we get that over the course of the next few hours. That could be an interesting trade if it triggers. We obviously get FOMC minutes tomorrow, which could be pretty interesting as that one plays through. So again, look out for that. And then, I mean, this BlackRock IBIT staked Ethereum ETF could be going live anytime soon. What's interesting as well is ETH's actually rallying on the back of that news, which is kind of wild. So, you know, maybe we sort of get this move on Ethereum back above the 20-day EMA. 2210 could be an interesting one for ETH. So, yeah, all feels like the next 24, or even some might say the next 7 days could be very pivotal in the crypto market. Interesting, right? Anyway, sometimes you got to stare at these charts with all the hidden indicators. That's it. Well, literally, the team at Chart Primer just messaged me. Potentially, they've got some kind of new stuff that they want me to look at. So hopefully, we can get that on the chart. So I have a couple of their indicators from before. So Market Oracle Pro, like a couple of these dynamic pros. I don't know if I don't know kind of what it's doing at the minute, but it does all sorts of like crazy stuff. So it'd be kind of fun to see if we get that. Their new model, it's like some sort of AI chart tool or something. I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But as always, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I appreciate you guys taking the time out. It's been a slow one tonight, but you know what? We're here for the grind, and we are always going to be here for the grind. So we'll be back tomorrow night, as always, irrespective of whether there's 500 people here or there's 5 people here. I'll be here, as you are, bringing it all about the crypto market. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the follow button. Obviously, we'll be back 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. in the UK. Until then, have a great day. Keep your eyes peeled on what's going with BTC, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See you later.